1 Samuel chapter 17 is where we are going today. 1 Samuel chapter 17. The speakings of faith. The winning side is a speaking side. In this life, you cannot afford to be silenced to win. You want to have a win, you must keep talking. We saw in that verse 1, it said, now the Philistines gathered together. I want you to follow me. The Philistines gathered together to battle. If you go to verse 2, what happened to them? Verse 2, the Israelites also did what? Gathered. Are you following me? The Philistines gathered in verse 1. The Israelites also gathered. But it's not about the gathering. Let's see a strategy that works. In verse 3, the Bible says that, and the Philistines stood on a mountain. And what? Israel did what? Also stood. Just follow me. Philistines gathered, Israelites gathered. Philistines stood. The Israelites too, they stood. In life, we tend to gather and say, I'm ready, I'm battle ready. It is a gathering. We even get to the point of standing where we say, let anything come. We stood. Verse 4, let's see what happened. Verse 4. Verse 4. And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistine, named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. Is there a response in verse 5 to the stepping out? No. That's where defeat started from. The Philistines gathered, they too gathered. The Philistines stood, they too stood. Now the Philistines took it to the next level of sending a man out. But for Israel, there was no man to step out. No man. If we will win in the course of life, we must learn to go from one phase to the phase of gathering, the phase of standing, the phase of stepping out. It takes little effort to gather. It takes a little more effort to stand. But to step out, you need more strength to step out. There was no response. The Philistine, one of them stepped out, the champion of the group stepped and said, I'm ready for battle. But nobody stepped out for the Israelites. And from that verse, from verse 4 to 7, the Bible was describing the man that stepped out. He had an helmet of brass and all that. He was well prepared for the battle. The explanation of the way Goliath was prepared was expressed from verse 4 to verse 7. A long passage of his preparation. He stepped out a great man. But no one could step out for the Israel. The Philistines were dressed for battle. But none was ready in the camp of the Israel to step out and dress for battle. No response. And when they saw that there was no response to their stepping out, they took it to a further step. From verse 8 to 10, Bible says they began to give challenge. They began to challenge the host of the Israelites. Why are you coming to set your battle in array? I'm not I a Philistine, and ye servants of Saul. Choose you a man. We gathered, you gathered. We stood, you stood. It's time for someone to step out. Now, who is stepping out? Choose you a man. And from that verse, from verse 8 to 10, he was speaking. He was speaking. He was speaking. He was speaking. He used three verses to speak to them. Let's see what happened in verse 11. See response. You cannot decide, you cannot afford to be quiet for too long. It's dangerous. Any little word sent your mind and you don't respond, you are already defeated. See response in verse 11. When Saul and not Israel heard those words of Philistine, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. They were taking in the word, and there was no output. Something was going to their mind and nothing was going out to attack it. Their spirit became down, that they became afraid and dismayed. And that's the kind of status we find ourselves once in a while. There's an attack on our mind at work. Things were not going fine, and we allowed it to stay too long. 7 verses were down, and the response is, I am afraid. The speaking side is the winning side. Goliath was speaking for 3 verses, 7 to 10. He was talking. And at the end of his talking, verse 11, they began afraid. Do you know that there's nobody that cannot be afraid on this earth? Even the devil can be afraid. Resist the devil. What will he do? He will flee. Why did he flee? He was afraid. Even the devil can be afraid. Nobody. He has the immunity against fear. The only thing you can do is to guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it, guard your heart. As those words are coming, eating your spirit, you need to guard it by responding. Don't wait for 3 verses to go without having a response. Something is telling your spirit and say, this sickness has affected you. Are you sure this is not how you went? Reply by a sharp word. I shall not die. And you see the devil fleeing. The devil is very wise. He keeps on launching attack at your spirit. Once you see there is no reply, you are not safe. You are not safe. Did Goliath bring out sword? No, sir. Was he with gun? No. He only stood and was talking. The weapon of our warfare are not carnal. They are not the things we see, sir. They are things that we do not see. They are strong. They are mighty to pull down stronghold. They are words, sir. Words. Words. We don't use carnal weapon in the spirit. We use spiritual weapon, and they are very sharp. They don't miss their target. They don't. They don't. He only used unseen words. He only used unseen weapon upon them, and they were dismayed, greatly afraid. No reply. The Bible says, the words of God are sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing, dividing asunder. It has the capacity to tear in pieces, to penetrate. It has that capacity to enter any stronghold. What pulled down the wall of Jericho? Words, not armor. Just words. Because words are powerful, they can penetrate anywhere. They can penetrate. When the devil come like a mighty rushing water, the Spirit of the Lord will raise standard against them. The devil come not. He will always come. Come not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. That's his job, to come. He came around Job that day. He came. He will always come. But Bible says when he comes like a mighty rushing water, the Spirit of the Lord will raise standard against them by the word, sir. By the word. Raise standard against every wiles of the devil over your life as you go into this week and the rest of the year. As they rise up like mighty rushing water, lift up that standard against them. They cannot resist it. They can't. The word is our defense. The word is our weapon. The word is what we have to attack also. The word. The word. Goliath knew the efficacy of the word, but Saul was ignorant. Goliath knew he doesn't have to take any weapon, physical weapon, but he could use words. He was just talking at them. And at the end of his statement, they were all dismayed and greatly afraid. Just words. No pointing of gun, just words. And they became greatly afraid because Goliath knew the efficacy of the word. That's why you must not stand with people that the only they know to say is bad things. Why are you looking like this? Why are you, what? You are anytime you say, why are you looking like this? Those kind of people, they can demoralize you. People that do not see anything good in you, run from them. Avoid them. Why you? The dress that you thought was the most beautiful, you wore it out and they saw you and said, it will let you wear you by. Those people, there's nothing you can do that can please them. Run away from them. Avoid them. Because words, they can pierce into the body. You have not somebody that has worn the most expensive clothes in the face of the earth. And by the time he steps into a garden, he met the first person and the person said, what are you looking like? Are you okay? And say, what happened to me? Even I don't know. He began to cry. Because words are very powerful. What? Imagine Saul was at home with his people. And then a force was coming from outside. Don't they have warriors? But because they didn't attack on time, they wanted to play a defensive role. They considered a penalty in their 18-yard box. And that was a goal. You know, there's no way you can be so smart. You want to be defending. Somebody will cause a trouble in your 18-yard box and you are gone. That's why you must not wait. You must not wait till a penalty will happen in your attack. The devil come one way, cause him to flee 7 ways. Because you have the word in your mouth. The speakings of faith. You fight. We don't fight with physical weapon. We fight with the words of God in our mouth. The two-edged sword, if it goes this way, it destroys. Goes the other way, it destroys. It has that capacity to double destroy anything because it is the word of the Lord. The word. The word. Jeremiah chapter 36 verse 16. Jeremiah chapter 36 verse 16. Words are powerful, sir. Words are powerful. Once you allow words to settle upon you, and you allow it can do the damage you don't expect. Now it came to pass when they had all the words. All the words. It was a letter that they wrote to Jerusalem that day. All of them began to cry. What so on paper? That should be maybe 1 Samuel or Kings. Yeah, it should be Kings. It was just letter they wrote. They wrote that the people of Mount Sinai or some Moab, Ammonite, the three of them are coming together to just a letter. The Bible says all of them began to cry. A letter that contains word. See these people. Now it came to pass when they had all the words, just the words, they were afraid. Both one and other. That is, as soon as they asked, bro, what you just add now, what do you think? He said, I'm scared. He said, even me too, I am scared. That's meaning of one another. The one that was feeling, maybe if I go to sister, she got to sister and said, even me too. I don't know where to go now. Just words. Words. They were afraid one and other. Words are powerful. They are strong tools for us to fight in the spirit. And we must engage it. The devil cannot force anything on you. The devil cannot force you into silence. Let me tell you what he does. And you must understand this strategy so I can shut him down at any time. He doesn't have that power to force you into silence. What he does, he can only suggest a counterfeit suggestion to you. He can only initiate a counterfeit suggestion into your mind. And once you are receptive and you're already playing with it and say, is this, is that, he begins to release the volume of the spirit of faith in you. The Bible says, faith comes by what? Hearing. You must hear something, no? Something must be heard. The same thing, fear. Fear comes by hearing. What did Adam say? Adam said, I heard your word, your voice. And I was what? Afraid. The same faith can come by the word. The same way fear can come by the word. So what the devil does is not to force his will on you. It's not to force into any circumstance. He only initiates something that can drop your faith and then begin to reduce the volume of faith's voice in you. And as the voice of faith is going down, the voice of being a victim is going up. That is why you must be the talker. He does that to shift you from the realm of possibility to the realm of physical reality. Do you think this can be done? He's trying to move from the point of, I'm the God of all flesh. Is there anything I cannot do? To the realm of, do you think this is possible? He said, how can this thing be? And instantly, the Spirit rose up and response. And he said, the Spirit of the Lord is about the Spirit of the Lord. We come upon you and overshadow you. You cannot be safe when the devil launches an attack, when you are not under the Spirit, when you are not in the Spirit. In the realm of the Spirit, 4 voices must not waver. And that's where I'm going to close. In the realm of the Spirit, 4 voices must not shake, must not be reduced. I'd like to go in that might this week. There are 4 voices that are very important in your journey of life. Once those 4 voices are up,